Hello and welcome to Non-Stop Wrestling Chat. My name is Barry and this is your Clash of the Champions review. Oh, tired today guys. Been up since 3 AM watching Clash of the Champions and also doing a little bit of work. But that's an excuse for another day. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. And let's get into the show. So, kick-off show, we started with a solid match, nothing special. It was a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Nakamura and Cesaro versus Lucha House Party. Nakamura defeats Kalisto to pick up the win. So obviously Nakamura and Cesaro pick up the win here. Solid match, 2.5 stars, nothing special. It was 10 minutes, solid kick-off show, and it kind of got people ready for the main show. So we kick off the main show with a triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Jeff Hardy, who's the champion, versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn picks up the belts. I was more surprised than anything the fact that he picked up the belts. So this was like a 25-minute match. It was awesome, guys. It was such an awesome match. One of the best of the night. Great action. The result was insane. I honestly never thought Sami would pick up that win there. Because he's been like away for a long period of time, not really been there, coming in and doing like silly feuds. This was a pretty cool thing to see him pick up that against two great wrestlers. There was so many great parts in this match. I loved the mini ladder gimmick. I loved the Jeff Hardy getting the cuff through his earlobe, the hole in his earlobe, getting the cuff through it, and he's cuffed to a ladder and he's walking into the ring. I loved the gimmick when Sami was cuffed to AJ, but he had the keys, got AJ in the ladder, and that's how he got the belt. The handcuffs played a big part in this, and it was really, really fun to see. Honestly, it was really cool. I can't stress to you enough how great this match was. You need to go watch it. If this is the only match you've watched from the night, you will be more than happy. And I gave this 5 stars, guys. I actually gave it the highest marks that I can give. And I think it's the highest marks I've gave a wrestling show and a wrestling match in a while. 5 stars I gave it. So then we have R-Truth, he's backstage, walks into the ref's room. Drew Gulak sneaks up behind him, rolls him up for the 1-2-3, and wins the 24/7 championship. I don't really care about the championship, but Raw's Women's Championship match, Ahsoka versus Vega. Ahsoka picks up the win, 7 minutes. I gave this 3 stars, guys. I'll be the first one to hold my hands up here and say that I was not looking forward to this match at all. I didn't think anything good was going to come for it. Didn't think it was going to be interesting. I thought it was just going to be a pretty shit match, to be honest with you. But it was actually really good. 3 stars it was a good match, nothing special. I came in not caring about it, right? I came in literally not bothered about this, and it was great. Not great, but it was really good. The United States Championship match was next. Bobby Lashley champion with MVP versus Apollo Crews and Ricochet. Bobby Lashley puts up the win. 8-minute-ish. I just never got into this one. Honestly, it was a solid match, don't get me wrong, but I just never got into it, so I gave it a 2.5 stars. And we get the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits versus Andre and Graza. Street Profits pick up the win here. I was really unsure about this one because... So I gave it 2.5 stars. It was a really good match. I think it could have probably got a 3, but the ending was pretty confusing. So... If you've not seen it, just skip a couple of minutes. But if you have, well, you're here watching the review, I've just told you the winner. It was a solid match. Let's say the ending was a little bit weird when it was like... So what happened was... It really looked... Andrew kicked out at 2, 100%. Well, 95%, I'm not 100% sure. He kicked out at 2. But then they finished it, obviously, for the Street Profits to pick up the win, and then the medics came out to check out Andrew. So I don't know what's happening there, if it's going to be built into a wee story or if it's going to do something along those lines, but I'm sure we'll find out the night on Raw. So 2.5 stars there. Then R-Truth attacks Drew Gulak backstage, and he wins the 24/7 championship back. Pretty happy for him. Then we get the SmackDown Women's Championship match. So it was Bayley versus Ahsoka, because Bayley comes out and, sorry guys, I'm just uncomfortable. Bayley comes out and she's like, oh, Nikki Cross can't compete tonight, blah blah blah. So I'm going to open it up, open challenge, and Ahsoka comes out. I wasn't really sure why Ahsoka was coming out, but as you can imagine, Ahsoka defeats Bayley via disqualification because Sasha Banks came out and attacked Bayley. Well, that was expected. I literally predicted that. I think everybody in wrestling world knew that was going to happen. Yeah. And maybe I would have been cooler if like Sasha Banks came out. So I gave it like 1.5 stars. But maybe it would have been cooler if Sasha Banks came out and Bayley refused to face her and just got accounted out. So it was DQ, so she retains anyway. Then we get the ambulance match for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Drew picks up the win. This was like just over 20 minutes. 4 stars here, guys. This one was brilliant. it honestly was great. I love seeing Big Show, Christian, Shawn. I liked the ending when Randy Orton was in there and went to the side of the ambulance and there's Ric Flair driving it away. Honestly, thought it was a really cool match. There was a lot of action, a lot of fun stuff that happened. It was a really fun match. I liked the kick, the kick from Shawn, the sweet chin music on top of the ambulance. But it was a really fun match. There's nothing else I can really say about that one. It was just a good, fun match. Go watch it. It literally was definitely one of the better gimmick matches that you can get in the WWE that we've seen for a while. Then the Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Jey Uso. Roman Reigns defeats Jey Uso when Jimmy Uso throws in the towel, kind of. But this was great, guys. This was. I'd say the ladder match was match of the night, just personally, and I'd say this was the second. So I give it 4.5 stars. It was great. Now, it's not a technical masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't like the best wrestling match that you've ever seen, but it was great story and character development for those guys. It was a match with amazing story. Like, really, really great story. I just loved the match, everything in it. At the end when Roman Reigns had the thing round his neck, and Jimmy was like, "Oh, you're the chief. Don't hit Jey anymore." That was the only way he was going to stop beating Jey, was if that's what it says. And the story throughout this whole match, and literally the story through the storyline at the start, I was like, "Why are they doing this? This is going to be stupid." But all the way through, just got better and better and better, and it was a great build till this point that I know Roman Reigns was going to win. There was no ifs, buts and maybes. Of course he's going to win. He's the man, right? But Jey put on a great show. It was a great match. Like I said, it wasn't a technical masterpiece. You're not going to go back and watch it and be like, "Oh, this is like one of the best matches of all time." But it was really, really good. Well done to both guys in that. So overall, 4 stars for the whole show. It was a great match, like great show. I don't have anything to say. I just wish WWE would do this more often. Like, do it more like this. It was great. Roman Reigns looked cool as hell being the bad guy, which we have called for so long. The opening match, the ambulance match in the main event, stole the show. The rest of it was normal WWE lackluster stuff, but those 3 stole the show, and that's what made it a 4.5 stars. If they had maybe 1 or 2 more matches that were steal the show, we could have probably had a 5-star show there. And right, guys, it's definitely been the best pay-per-view that's been in the Thunderdome, and I would say it's been the best pay-per-view in WWE this year, arguably. Yeah, I'd probably say it's been close to being the best one. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso definitely stole the show. I keep going back between the ladder match and then this one, but definitely the story was great. The walkout for Roman at the entrance and the way Heyman was looking up at the title, as it just was great. Everything was great in that match, apart from the wrestling. No, but the story was great, and it's a surprise that great story. Like back in the day, The Rock wasn't the best wrestler, but his story was great. The Rock versus Austin was never a technical masterpiece of a match, right? But it was great to watch and see because it was fun and it had great story behind it. I think Roman Reigns is going to bring that. Maybe not with Jey, but later on down the line. And I think we might get a wee match with Jimmy as well in there, but I really enjoyed it. I really did. To be honest, here Jey was the perfect opponent to cement Roman Reigns as a bad, ego-driven beast, kind of like the cocky, the younger version of Brock Lesnar. Definitely, Jey was the best one to kind of cement that in, that he's now in charge and not anybody else. I think this could be the best pay-per-view this year. And it was wrestling. That's what I liked. Wrestling being back. Some good matches like the ladder match and the ambulance match, which is the gimmick match that the WWE always likes. So they got their gimmick match, which was good. They got the ladder match. I know that's a gimmick as well, which was good. And then you got the main event with the story, which was good. But don't get me wrong, guys, right? This wasn't going to be like one that I'm going to go back and watch in the future. I might put it back on like a couple of months down the line just to jog my memory of it. But coming in this week, I wasn't even sure. I forgot the Clash was happening until like Monday when I seen on the other YouTube channel what I expect from the Clash, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot that was this week. It really is. This one was, I went in here with zero expectations and I was blown out of the water. Now this isn't like the best, you're not going to reference it like one of the best matches of all time or one of the best pay-per-views of all time by any means, but in 2020 when stuff has been pretty fucking bad, wrestling's been hurting, the world's been hurting, we've not really had great storylines for a long time in wrestling, not really had brilliant, we had a good match here or there, nothing great. This was a wrestling show. Now if they backed one of these out every single month when they're doing like their pay-per-views, if they like a show like this every month, it would be great. Obviously that's a lot to ask for, but it would be great. And I'm loving the Roman Reigns gimmick just now. The AJ Styles, Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy, which I'm watching again just now because it is so good. Yeah, hands down guys, I would say this is the best pay-per-view of 2020 in WWE. And it just shows when the stars align and everything works together, WWE can put on a great show. And I'm going to say this, guys, see with the storytelling for the Jey and Roman Reigns, I really feel that they might have had a little bit more input into it, because obviously it's a lot of family stuff, so they might have had more input into it than the WWE writers. And it definitely, if it's true, that looks like it worked as well. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you here tomorrow for the Monday Night Raw review. Let's hope that's better than last week's Raw. See you then guys.